My name is Stephanie Grantz, and I am a speech-language pathologist. Right now I work in the school setting at Willoughby East Lake City Schools. I've worked in the past in subacute rehab, and I've loved both settings, definitely, but school is probably my passion right now, and working with children. So, it's interesting because when I was on a ministry project or a mission project out in Colorado way back in 1991, that tells you how old I am. When I was in college, I felt guilty for not going into like a full-time ministry because my faith is really important to me. However, there was a gentleman that reminded me that God needs speech-language pathologists too, and that your ministry is wherever you are. And I feel very strongly about that. And when I approach my job with that in mind, I approach my job differently. I would say, my faith affects a lot of the different things that I do, especially in working with kids, working with a lot of different adults and families, and I always pray each time to see each person I work with through the eyes of Christ. I do have some friends or coworkers there that I'll pray for, that I know are praying for me, especially if they're going through some tough things. I'll tell them, what can I pray for? And people are usually really receptive to that. I had a girl, it was years ago, and she was so disrespectful in her behavior towards me. And I told her, I said, do you understand what the word respect means? And she just looked at me and, gave me the attitude. And I said, well, how about we talk about it today during lunch recess? So she got a detention from me to sit down. And we sat there and we talked about respect and we wrote out what it was and talked about situations with it. And I don't think anyone had ever sat down and talked with her about it. But I think it's important that once that's over with and done with, she knows that I'm not going to hold it against her. I don't. We all make mistakes. And she was like my best friend for the rest of the year. She's stopping in. And I asked the teacher, I said, I asked about her, and she said, oh my gosh, she's got a really bad home life. Just not a good home life. She says she actually probably craves structure, and we just don't know it sometimes. But she knew I cared, and I think that's what matters. I hope that kids don't see me as a dictator, but a leader. When you're in a place of authority, that's hard. But I hope that they know how much I care about them and how much they're loved. They are my blessing. They're my reason for going to work every day. Aside from obviously it is my job, it's like my vocation, but I look forward to it. I like seeing them. I love the hugs, the waves, the high fives, and there's not a lot of jobs where you get that as you walk down the hall. But I'll take it. It's its own reward. But I think that it's my relationships with children. My faith really helps me work through that with the children, so they know they're important.